Welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the various steps in the research process. Yeah, there are 10 various steps in the research process. Of course, the first and foremost thing is that you have to define and formulate the research problem. That is the first step. And then you have to do some surveys. You have to refer some journals, magazines, and some theories, theses, okay, to get some knowledge about your research problem. Okay, and the third step is that you have to formulate your hypothesis, that is your suggested solution. And the fourth step is the conceptual structure. What is the methodology? Okay, how you are going to approach to solve the problem. And the fifth step is the sample design and the strategy. Okay, that involves the uh, statistical way of your approach. Okay, that is the previous step for data collection. Okay, simply we can say it is like sampling, collecting some samples related to solve your research problem. And the sixth step is the data collections. Okay, then you are going to collect relevant data to support your thesis. And then seventh step is you have to analyze the data. Okay, data analysis. Okay, that is while analyzing the data you will come to the conclusion. Okay, so that analysis is very important. And the eighth step is the testing. Okay, testing your hypothesis, your suggested solution. Okay, it may be a practical one or a theoretical testing. Okay, and that is the eighth step. And the ninth step is your explanation. Okay, explanation to support your hypothesis. And the final step is the preparation of report. Then you can prepare your report about your research. These are the various steps. Formulating the research problem. In order to formulate the research problem, one should decide the area of interest first. Okay, after deciding the area of interest, you can identify the problem in the area of interest, and you can state the problem in a general way, in a most simple way. And once the problem is identified, then you might have some idea to give a solution. Okay, so a solution for the problem. That solution should be feasible. It should be it should be implementable. Okay, in the real time scenario. All right, so you have to consider the feasibility of the solution, and then you can formulate the general topic into a specific research problem. Normally the formulating the research problem is a two-step process. Okay, the first step is understanding the problem thoroughly, and the second step is rephrasing the problem into analytical or operational steps. Okay, in order to understand the problem thoroughly, you have to discuss with your colleagues your expertise. The expertise may be your supervisor or guide. Okay, you should have a discussion so that you can understand the problem thoroughly. And you can also do some literature survey. Okay, there are two types of literature survey in formatting the research problem. One is the conceptual literature, and the next one is the empirical literature. The conceptual literature gives you the concepts and the methodologies behind your survey, whereas the empirical literature gives you the studies made earlier similar to the proposed one. Okay, so by doing this literature survey, by discussing with your colleagues and your supervisor or guide, you can understand the problem thoroughly. Okay, and then you can easily rephrase the problem into analytical or operational terms. Okay, so the rephrasing the problem involves the technical term and you should also state the assumptions that you have made, and then you should consider the source of data, and then you have to mention the scope and limitations of the problem. So it may be like an abstract or synopsis. Okay, so formulating the research problem is like writing an abstract or synopsis, which involves these steps. The next step is the extensive literature survey. Okay, once you have formulated your research problem, then you have to do extensive literature survey. You have to refer the journals, you have to refer conference proceedings, or some reports, technical reports, government reports, books and theses relevant to your research problem. Okay, so in order to answer the questions by the asked by the research board or some committees. Okay, so this includes abstracting, indexing journals, published and unpublished bibliographies, all those things. So you need to spend some sufficient time. Sufficient time means you should not spend more time on this, but you should spend sufficient time in such a way you understand your research problem, and then you get confidence to face the committee, and you can answer the questions raised by the committee or the research board. So this is an important step. If you don't do extensive literature survey, then your research will be a failure one. While doing the extensive literature survey, you may come across these terminologies like ISBN. Most of the books it has ISBN, that is International Standard Book Number. Then ISSN. So in journals and conferences, you may come across this ISSN, International Standard Serial Number, and then DOI, Digital Object Identifier. So if the journal is published online, then you may come across this term DOI. Okay, so first three are very important. The next three you can find in the libraries. Okay, the UDC means Universal Decimal Classification Catalog for referring books physically. Then RIS. RIS means Research Information Services. Then BibTeX, Bibliographic Information. And while doing literature survey, you must also consider the journal impact factor. Which journal are you referring, and what is the impact factor for that journal? If the journal has high impact factor, then the journal is good. Good scientists and good researchers have published their papers in the journal. So it means like that. And then citation index and H index is also important. Citation index means number of times the research paper has been published or cited by an author. Okay, and similarly H index, and number of times, or how many times it is the highest value. Okay, how many times it was indexed or cited. Okay, the same paper has been cited. So these are these terms like impact factor, citation index, H index indicates the quality of the paper, okay, or the journal. The next step in the research process is to develop the hypothesis. And the hypothesis should be a testable one, and it should be a measurable one. So in simple, it should be very specific. Okay, what is your suggested solution? It should be very simple and it should be very specific. Okay, so that suggested solution will guide you to find the area of research, and it keeps you on the right track. Okay, so that you can work faster and you can finish uh, your work as early as possible. While developing the hypothesis, these are the important steps. Okay, you have to discuss with your colleagues and the experts. Okay, so you can discuss with your colleagues, your supervisors, guide about the problems and your objectives, so that you will get many ideas, more ideas to develop your hypothesis. And then you have to examine the data and the collected records. Okay, and then you can review similar studies. Okay, for that you can refer journals and magazines. Okay, so developing hypotheses includes examination of the available data and the material, including related studies, and then counseling given by the experts and the interested parties. So with this, you can develop a nice hypothesis. Research design. So once you have formulated your hypothesis, that is your suggested solution, then the next step is that you have to develop a conceptual structure or the methodologies to solve the research problem or to accomplish your suggested solution. Okay, so this includes the collection of maximum information with relevant evidence. Okay, and then there are several research designs like experimental and non-experimental design testing. Okay, so that depends on your research problem. So either it may be an experimental design or it may be a non-experimental design. Okay, and the preparation of research design involves sufficient information. Okay, so if you are going to develop a methodology or a conceptual structure without sufficient information, you cannot develop this one, you cannot design. And then availability and skill of researcher. Yes, you must be continuously, you must be working towards the design, and you must be available throughout the period. And then organization and reasoning leading to the section. Okay, you have to do the organization. Okay, the organization of the design, and then you have to consider the time factor and the cost factor. Okay, how long it will take, okay, to accomplish the methodology of the hypothesis, and how much amount it involves. So you must consider this time factor and the cost factor while doing the research design. So the fifth step in the research process is the sample design, that is sampling. Okay, so this sampling will lead to the data collection. Okay, so that means before data collection, you are going to do this sampling. For example, consider you are going to collect data from the drugstores in the city. Okay, and there are 240 drugstores in the city, and it is quite complex to visit all the 240 drugstores to collect data. So you are going to do sampling. So sampling means you are going to choose 12 drugstores out of 240 drugstores. Okay, and how you are going to choose these 12 drugstores. Okay, that is called the sampling methods. Okay, there are several sampling methods like deliberate sampling means it is a purposive sampling, and then random sampling. So random sampling comes under non-probability sampling. Random means you are picking a random number, it's like a lottery. Okay, and then systematic sampling means it is having some specific systematic order, like multiples of 15, multiples of 10, like that. Then sequential sampling like ascending order, descending order, smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So these are some of the sampling done in sequence. And mixed sampling, you can do any kind of methods. Okay, so these are some of the sampling techniques uh, to do the data collection. Data collection, it is the process of gathering and measuring information that enables you to answer the test hypothesis. So the data can be from the experiment or through survey. Okay, so you can collect the data for supporting your hypothesis. So that data can be from an experiment or it can be through survey. That means the experiment already done by another researcher. Okay, so that will be captured in this survey. And it can also be collected through questionnaires. Okay, so online you can use some ICT tools like Google Forms to develop some questionnaires, and you can collect the data, or you can have one-to-one interview, then you can collect the data in order to support the hypothesis. Okay, and so the researchers should select one of the data collection methods. There are more methods. You can choose any one famous methods in order to support your thesis. Okay, but you have to consider the nature of investigation, your objective, research objective, scope of the inquiry, then financial sources, the available time, and the accuracy, degree of accuracy. These all factors should be considered. Okay, and then after collecting the data, now you are having a valuable support for your hypothesis. Then you can execute your project. Data analysis. So once the data has been collected, the researcher has to analyze the data. Okay, so that means while analyzing, you automatically you will categorize the collected data. So the categorized data can be implemented through coding or in tabulation format, or you can draw some statistical inferences, some charts. Okay, so that analysis, that data will give you a good information in these forms. Okay, so these data are analyzed and it can be explained by using a computer. Okay, without computer it will be difficult. So in modern days, computers plays a major role in data analysis in order to save time and to study the large number of variables. So n number of variables can be easily computed with the help of computers. Okay, so in brief, the researcher can analyze the collected data with the help of various statistical measures. So in this stage, the computer knowledge is very important to do the analysis, most of the analysis. Hypothesis testing. It is already mentioned that your hypothesis should be testable and it should be measurable. Okay, and that means there will be the committee will verify your research hypothesis, your suggested solution, and that may result in either accepting the hypothesis or rejecting it. Okay, if if you don't have any hypothesis to start with, then generalization established on the basis of the collected data may be stated as hypothesis so that it can be tested by the subsequent researchers. Okay, but it is recommended that your hypothesis should be testable and it should be measurable. That means you should develop or implement your methodology, and you should support your suggested solution or hypothesis. Interpretation. So interpretation is the process of explanation on your findings based on some theory. Okay, so while doing your research, you may come across some difficulties. Okay, and your the findings. Okay, so those things you might think that okay, this can be developed in the future. Okay, and those future scope. Okay, the scope in your findings can be listed here. Okay, can be explained here. So that is why it is mentioned that these explanation may lead to do the further research. Okay, so you are making a way or scope for the future researchers. Okay, so you are going to list out the findings and your suggestions, and also you are going to list out the problems faced by you while doing the research. Okay, so that is going to help for the future researcher. The final step in the research process is the preparation of reports. And the layout of the report includes the preliminary pages followed by the main text, and then it includes end matter. Okay, the preliminary pages of the report includes the title, date or duration of the research, some acknowledgements. Okay, and the main text of the report should have the abstract or the summary of the research findings. Then the introduction, which includes objective of your research, scope of your research, and the methodology. Okay, so that will be captured in the introduction, and then comes the main report. How you are going to implement your research idea and what are the approaches. So that will be captured in the main reports. Okay, and then the conclusion. Okay, you are going to conclude your research findings. Okay, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and how best your solutions are implemented, or it is tested or measured. Everything will be captured here. You are going to conclude it. Okay, so the main text is very important. Okay, and while writing the report, you must make note of these things. Okay, so your reports should be simple and it should be concise. Okay, you should not use more complex words, and you should not explain more. Okay, it should be very concise. Then the chart, tables, and figures should provide information clearly and forcibly. So while collecting the data, you must code or you must describe those data, the analyzed data clearly, okay, with the help of these charts, tables, and figures. Then various constraints and limitations while doing the research should be stated clearly so that the other researchers can understand the exact scenario. Okay, so these are the things you must keep in mind while preparing the reports. Okay, thank you.